We love y'all.
We love you. I was gonna say something.
Good morning and welcome to Stivers Homestead. Today is actually a really exciting day. So we have been asked to go to a local school here and participate in their Pioneer Days. So Pioneer Days is basically just showing the kiddos different ways that people used to do it back in the day, hence bringing out my winter attire. And we are going to be teaching them how to cook over a fire. And that's really exciting to do. We've got the truck all packed up and we're getting ready to head out. We're just trying to complete some chores here before we have to go. But we're honored to be asked. We love working with children and teaching children about some of these ways and some of the stuff that we do, because, you know, sometimes they just don't know. They haven't been taught, they haven't been around it, they haven't seen it. So getting to do something that we love doing and teach kids how to do it is something that we'll always be excited for. So we're gonna take you all around and show you all that. We'll really show you the setup and show you how we did and kind of show you what we talked about and stuff like that. So buckle up, it's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, we are here. My man got the Pioneer dress on. Kiddos are here with us, and we've got our setup going. So we're gonna show them all the different stuff, the kind of the utensils and tools that you would use. And then we've got a little fire going over here, just for show. Their house, they would build outdoor kitchens, and that's what we're teaching you today. It's about outdoor cooking. We got everybody?
What grade do we have?
Second. All right. Well, it's good to meet you. We are what you would call a homesteader. Does anybody know what a homesteader is? No? A homesteader is very similar to a pioneer. We like to grow our own food, we like to hunt for our food, and we like to use the minimal as we can and try not to use electricity, gas, and things like that. So today we're going to teach you about cooking over a fire. How many of you all have used a tool similar to this and cooked hot dogs or marshmallows over with your parents or family? Yeah, so you've already done a little bit of what the pioneers would do. But could you imagine doing that for every single meal? Every meal had to be cooked over a fire. And the reason for that is most pioneers' houses were one room, and that wasn't enough room for a kitchen. It was basically for them to sleep and stay warm in the cold months. So their kitchen had to be outdoors and cooking over a fire. So they got really smart and creative when they did this. One way though is you can't just have a fire if you don't have any food. So Miss Jennifer is going to show you some of the ways that they would actually have their food ready.
So like you said, back then, you couldn't just go to the store and buy your food, right? They might have little to be done right at home. So they had to grow big gardens to feed them and themselves and their families and their communities. They had to grow animals to eat, and they had to do that all right at home. And then once you have that food, you have to figure out how to preserve it. Does anybody's mommy or daddy do any canning? Yeah? Yeah, we do too. We love coffee over a fire. Believe it or not, that's more simple than using a coffee pot, because all you do is pour the coffee in with some water, you stick it over the fire, heat it up, and it's ready to go.
And you know when it's ready, when the coffee starts spitting up into this clear thing, it's called a percolate. So that's how you know that coffee is ready for you to drink. It's pretty neat and pretty simple. A lot easier than maybe what we're doing.
And this is also made out of cast iron so that it can last in the fire.
And so this is what the chili would look like.
Yeah, we're not Amish.
But you reduce where you can.
Yeah, exactly. We like to try to grow as much of our food.
And your kids go to school here?
We're home.
Okay.
So the whole reason that we like to Well, that was a lot of fun.
It was.
We had a really good time doing Pioneer Days at one of our local elementary schools, and it was crazy. We really didn't know what to expect. This was our first kid event, per se. We've talked to a lot of adults. We've spoke to a lot of people in a lot of different places across the country, but we've always had a passion of wanting to teach children. You know, children don't always get blessed to have the opportunity to learn these things. A lot of times they're stuck in buildings, or maybe their family's not very much into it, so they don't get to do it outside of school either. And so just learning and seeing different ways of life are very important, in our opinion, to show children.
Yeah, I'd say speaking to adults and speaking to kids is way different.
Yeah.
I'd say kids are way more intimidating. But we loved it. It was so much fun. I remember when we were in elementary school and our old school, they had a colonial days, which was very similar. And, you know, you went around to different stations like that with fire and learned how to make quill pens and quilts and stuff like that. And I still remember that day. It was one of my core memories and how much fun that was. And I truly think that sparked a big interest in me to live this lifestyle, seeing people cooking over the fire and stuff. So, you know, just when we do that kind of thing, we may not reach everyone, but if we just spark an interest in one kid that goes home and talks to their mom and dad about this kind of lifestyle, that makes us happy, because that was an important piece of my childhood.
Yep. So I know in our footage, you really only got to see us because it was just busy. We had a different group of kids every 10 minutes for 2 hours straight. A lot of fun, a lot of kids. But we weren't able to go around to the other groups. So there was one guy, he was throwing tomahawks and then also teaching people how to start fire without lighters and lighter fluid and stuff like that. We had quilt making. There was bluegrass music being played.
There was fried apple pies.
Fried apple pies.
Really cool.
That actually worked out well for our talk too, because we was teaching people how to make those kind of pies over a fire and without using electricity. There was a few more. There was some inside in the gym, and I think there was a couple more. And then us teaching people how to cook over a fire, teaching the kiddos how to grow your own food, how to preserve your food, and then also a lot about cast iron and explaining what cast iron is.
So within teaching them all about the cast iron and preserving your food and growing your food, the 3 specific things we talked about was how to make coffee over a fire. I know they're kids, but they all, you know, see their mom and dad drinking coffee. And
I was very surprised by how many said, well, we drink coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was cool to say, you know, this percolator is a coffee pot, just like your mommy and daddy's, but it doesn't have to be plugged into the wall. And this is how they made it in the Pioneer Days. And then we showed them how to make chili over the fire, which we also related to soups and stews, and talking about how they usually had to feed big families or communities and friends and neighbors and stuff like that. And then we ended it with showing them how to make a fried pie over the fire. So coffee, dinner, and dessert. And it was kind of the whole meal. And I don't know, their little faces lit up and they seemed to like it. And the adults liked it too. There was lots of questions for us and lots of, you know, oh, I remember when my grandparents did this, or I used to do this back in the day, and it sparked an interest. And, you know, I'm gonna go look for me some cast iron and maybe make some coffee over the fire this weekend. Yeah,
it was really cool. And it was wild to see the interactions that we had back and forth with the kids and us. So we started with kindergartners and we went all the way up to 5th grade, right?
Yeah.
And then so each group was a different grade as we moved up there. I think we had some duplicates of grades, didn't matter. Anyways, kindergarten to 5th grade. And I tell you what, it's wild just within a 2-hour span, talking from the range of kindergarten to 5th graders, you see how your voice changes and how like things change, because you're going to talk to kindergartners a little bit different than you're going to talk to 5th graders. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was a lot of kindergartners.
Yeah.
It was either kindergarten or 1st grade. There was one group specifically that reminded me of A Bug's Life, and when the grasshopper is talking to the other grasshoppers and like, we cannot let them see our fear or know that they can take us over because they have the numbers. Yep. They felt our fear.
They did.
It was so funny. But, you know, there was just so many good questions from these kids that really set me aback and like kind of surprised me that they had these questions come out of them. Somebody actually wanted to know where they can get time bomb pepper seeds because they were just asking about different peppers. And I was like, Hoss tools. Yeah. It was just really interesting. A lot of them, you know, didn't want to leave. They wanted to hear more information. And it really sparked an interest in us to want to do that more, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that kind of leads us into, here in just a couple weeks, we're going to be heading to Virginia to Homesteaders of America. Hopefully a lot of you all are as well. And doing our conversation and speech about doing something more. And I'm really excited about it. We're getting really pumped up to do it. And hopefully you will be there and get to experience, because that's when we start deep diving into more of the like wood and cooking over fires and the stuff that I think we don't necessarily think about very much. So when like we're watching YouTube and stuff, we're watching gardening skills and livestock skills and maybe off-grid stuff, but we're not getting into the nitty-gritty of actually how to thrive in some of these situations. That's going to be a lot of the talk in the speech.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. We hope to see you there.
Yeah. So we are actively watching like basically all of our walnut leaves just fall off and the walnuts fall off the tree. We can truly say fall is here. The weather's nice. Not during the Pioneer days though. It decided to hit 86 degrees for whatever reason, just randomly that one day. But it is back to fall-like weather, and we are just getting prepared for that.
Yeah.
The homeschooling's going really well.
It is. It's going really good this year. We're also decorated for fall, so maybe he can throw a few clips in of that at the end. Stay tuned for that. Absolutely love this time of year. I love our house this time of year. Everything's just so wonderful.
It's so funny how similar her and Wyatt are.
Yeah.
Like when it's the summer, you know, I'll try to get Wyatt outside and he comes, but it's mainly pool activities. He doesn't like just being out here very much in the summer. And she's the same way because it's too hot. And now since the weather has cooled down every day, he's like, can I go outside? I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Everybody, I think, thrives in spring and fall when we have this really nice low humidity weather.
Yes.
But yeah, that's kind of what our week has looked like. We've got more Airbnb guests coming up. We're actually going to hit up a concert this weekend, checking out some Justin Moore. It's like our 5th time seeing him, but we really like him. It's going to be a good time, a good week, and we hope that y'all are having a good week as well. And then lastly, when it comes to the store, we are continuously working on that, getting orders out, putting in new items back in stock. Right now we're trying to build up for HOA, so a lot of that inventory is going to be for that. However, there is still a lot of stuff out there. And remember, if you spend more than $50, always, it's free shipping. That never changes. That's not a promo. It's an always thing. But other than that, y'all, that's all we got for you. We hope you enjoyed today, seeing us teach some kids and just having a whole lot of fun. We love y'all.
We love you.
I
was gonna say something. I think I was gonna say, get outside and do something.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, I messed it up too.
I was zoned out because there's a chicken over here as well.
Yeah, there's chickens everywhere. There's cats.
But
wouldn't I normally
there's one
say?
right behind us.
I would say until the next one.
Love y'all.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.